Hello, this is Winston Cunningham, and it is April 28th, 2025. And I want to talk about today, I want to talk about experience. A person can read and get good ideas that they want to explore. And a person can listen to what someone else has to say to further help build the ideas that they may already have or just something new. The most value in learning and growth comes from each person's experience. This is why we have physical bodies. We did some observing from another vantage point, but the reason we chose to be in these physical bodies is so that we can have experience. And I have learned and practiced and still do. And I'm growing because of this, learning from experience or learning through experience. I have developed over the last 40 years a very good working relationship with my own soul. If there's something that I'm in the process of wanting to understand, I will turn the question over to my own subconscious mind, my own soul, which in turn provides me an experience that will give me a way to understand what I'm wanting to understand. This is what experience is for. If you're sitting with a group of people and you hear some things that sound good, but you don't know how to relate to it on a personal basis, then ask the question. See, the question is the most important thing. The second most important thing is finding an answer to that question, and your soul helps you do that. And then the third most important thing is next question. That's the whole process. But if you're serious about your question, your own soul will give you an experience, usually fairly soon, that will show you how you can relate to that in a personal way. Until you have the experience, all you can have is ideas from other people. And this is why I suggest that people eradicate should and should not from their vocabulary. Because when you use those words, you're talking about somebody else's idea. The whole system that's set up for us to learn works a whole lot better if you work off of your ideas rather than other people's. Now, other people can motivate you by, I may hear something that someone else says that say, well, I haven't thought about that and I haven't examined that. But it's my examination into it that causes my experience to show me how it works. So I have a personal way to relate to it. Hearing other people talk about their experiences can be a way to motivate yourself, but it's what you can witness through your own experience that counts. when you put a question sincerely within, and that's where everything takes place, is within. The assimilation process happens through the nighttime in dreams. And if you want to understand the dreams, you understand the message coming back from your soul, you will learn the language of mind. Most people on the planet at this point do not know the language of mind. This is why they're still confused. I'm not confused. I know where I am. I know what is before me, what I need to do to fulfill what I said I would do this lifetime. And I did that before I got into this physical body. And I didn't know that for a long time. But you will know, or you'll get an idea of what you came here to do, because something keeps nagging you. I can remember during my 20s, I got kind of frustrated because I could see that nobody else around me would give a damn about what I was concerned about. I wasn't talking about it, but I mean, they just seemed to be caught up in having fun and making money. I said, well, why am I bothered with this? Why can't I just be left alone, have fun and all that like the other people? But it's because I was a little bit more aware. Now, I didn't know that at the time. I just wanted this stuff to go away. That's the way I spent a lot of my 20s. And I learned a lot during my 20s, but for the most part, I was attempting to ignore what was coming to me. And this is why I use the term pull head from rectum, or like the ostrich got his head in the sand, because the process of ignoring causes ignorance. Ignorance is quite simply the process of ignoring. So when somebody encourages you to ignore, that may be an alarm. Because once you're aware of something, you can decide which way to go with it. But if you're afraid to decide, or if you're afraid to know where you are at the present time, then you're stuck. And if you're involved in a religion, many religions encourage you, well, don't look, don't worry about nothing. They're helping you to remain ignorant through the process of ignoring. You are taught to ignore the real stuff. And it is only by getting acquainted with the real stuff through experience that you really learn. Up until that point, you're just keeping up with the Joneses, and that causes heart trouble. I mean, it's not funny, but that's the attitude. I would encourage anybody that is serious about life or serious about anything to get a copy of Permanent Healing. This is research into mind done by the School of Metaphysics over a period of 50 years that relates to health. And it would be beneficial for a copy of Permanent Healing to be on the coffee table in every household, because it allows you to become familiar with what causes different things. And everything, the cause starts in the mind, doesn't start in the body. And so medical science is still on things just happening, and they're trying to figure out how to manipulate the body to keep it from happening. But they have yet to come to the real cause, which is in mind. The real cause for cancer is hatred. The answer to that is love. Now you can go back to the words of Jesus and make sense out of the 11th commandment. Love others as yourself. Well, how are you going to love others if you don't love yourself? See, it starts here. Everything starts here. Which brings me to the peace covenant is read every morning at 7:30 Central Time, U.S. At peacedome.org. And the main phrase in there is that peace begins with each person. And as each person becomes peaceful, then everything they're connected with becomes peaceful. They attract peaceful situations to them. Now contrast that to war. These people just need peace, but it starts with the individual. If each individual is peaceful, no wars. Wars are just stupid. They're foolish. Because you're trying to make someone else fall in line with what you want. Well, get busy creating what you want. And let other people do what they will. So that you can experience peace. When you experience peace and learn to appreciate that, then you will be drawing to you. Because the universe is set up in such a way as whatever you think about is what you attract. Whatever you give, you receive. Another way of hearing that is you reap what you sow. But it all comes from universal law. And the Bible describes this. It describes the development of you as a whole, complete individual, but it's coded in language of mind. And whatever the culture and whatever land you want to name, doesn't matter. Each culture has their own Bible, so to speak. So that they have a way to understand in their culture the inner workings of mind. It's all there, but it's coded in language of mind. And language of mind, and I'm fluent in language of mind now. So I can relate to the Bible being about me. It's not about how I can go to somebody else's land and change them to my way of doing. Well, in the other land, they've got, in their culture, they'll have a way to deal with this. They don't need you twisting their arm. They just need to look within, because everything a person needs in the way of experience comes from within. When you have a serious question, your own soul will guide you to the experience or create the experience for you to understand that. But if your attention is on changing someone else, you're missing the whole point of being here. The whole point of being here is so that you can experience growth. There's growth. There's three different divisions of mind: superconscious mind, subconscious mind, and then conscious mind. And if you have not seen yet a breakdown on mind, go to the School of Metaphysics website. It's som.org. for School of Metaphysics. And look at the book list, and there you'll find many books that uh, show you how to begin to understand language of mind. So just pick one that you can work with. But language of mind is necessary to understand the spiritual works, the major spiritual works. That, and combined with listening to, go download a copy of the Universal Peace Covenant from peacedome.org, and with the language of mind and the more of a focus on peace, your life will begin to change. And so your experience will begin to, well, your experience does reflect where you are in your own effort of growth to understand yourself, which is the only reason we're here. Everything else is but a distraction. Be still and know that I am is God. I saw something posted this morning that God is silent. And anything else is a bad interpretation. and I'm paraphrasing. I may not be quoting that exactly, but that makes sense because the more you're still, and this is what meditation provides, when you're still within and really listen to what is rather than being caught up into what may be or what somebody else says is, but what is. The way you have the experience of what is by going within here, where you don't hear all of the noise of the day. So look past the noise going on in your own head, and you'll have a way to buffer yourself from the noise that's going on around you. Because the real home place is quiet and still. It's all about looking within, learning to be within, or taking what is within into your daily routine. It's all in here, but it takes experience to understand what is in here. I'm Winston Cunningham. It's a good day. Thank you.